dear friends and colleagues, researchers and activists, leaders and learners, shakers and change makers. Thank you so much for joining us for this year's Development Days conference. We're so pleased to see that so many were interested in this topic that we find so important and urgent in today's day and age. In fact, we have a fully booked conference. We might even be spilling over our capacity. So bear with us if we're dragging in extra chairs or some people have to sit on the floor even. But hopefully it'll all work out just beautifully. My name is Aili Pyhälä. I'm here opening this conference on behalf of the organizing committee, as chair of the organizing committee of the conference. And very, very excited after almost a year of organizing this. Those who have done these kind of events before know what it feels like, all that anticipation and last minute changes and wondering if everything's going to go according to plan. And here we stand today with an almost full hall and an excellent program in front of us. So I'm very, very excited about the next 2 days. I'm also here on behalf of the Finnish Society of Development Research. Unfortunately, Minna Hakkarainen, who's been chairing the society for the past 2 years for unforeseen events, was unable to join us now this morning to give her opening talks, so I will be sharing her words on her behalf and on behalf of the whole society. The Finnish Society for Development Research, for those of you who don't know, in Finnish Kehitysmaatutkimuksen seura, brings together researchers, students, research institutions, as well as universities to enhance multidisciplinary research on development processes, as well as to enable networking and dialogue among different actors in society, so not just academics. Currently, the society has around 150 members and growing. We had our annual meeting last night. We've just elected a new board. We have lots of exciting plans for the year to come. This conference is the main event of the society. It's been organized for many years and seems to be growing year by year. Traditionally, the society has focused more on development issues related to developing countries, but with development studies as a discipline evolving and with globalization and all sorts of changes in both the discipline and in the world, we, the society as well, now sees that we cannot focus only on developing countries, and the challenges and problems facing us today cannot be understood or resolved by looking at developing countries as if they were isolated from the rest of the world. And this year, the Society's conference addresses a very pressing issue that is of concern not only to us in the society and us researchers, but really to humanity as a whole and to all other species on this planet, namely the politics of sustainability, with a subtitle, Rethinking Resources, Values and Justice. With this conference, we hope to examine the politics of sustainability by foregrounding values and moral choices implied by different pathways and current transformations. By choosing this conference theme, the Society aimed at calling the research community to develop a more articulated analysis between discussions on sustainability, the ongoing problematic and highly uneven processes of extractivism, environmental change, migration, and social differentiation, and their consequences for social, environmental, and ecological justice. To inspire our discussions and to enlighten us with their expertise, we have invited 3 distinguished keynote speakers, Jessie Ribaud, Sean Sullivan, and June Borras. And we are so pleased that they have all been able to join us here for these 2 days. warmly welcome. Thank you so much for making the effort to come here. We're so happy and excited to have you here with us. In addition, we have 6 working groups chaired by a number of scholars and other change makers. So very warm thanks to all those who have proposed the sessions and come here to chair those sessions and all the papers being presented there. There has been some slight changes, so Tara van Dijk from Oxford University was unable to make it last minute. Very kindly, Antti Tarvainen and Inna Sukhenko have volunteered to co-chair that session on her behalf. At this point, I would like to give my greatest thanks to Ella Rouhe. She's really the power machine behind this conference. She's been working day and night for many days now, if not weeks. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. So thank you, Ella. I don't know how we could have done this without you. She's probably been in touch with many of you already, so that's Ella, in case you didn't know who it is in person. Before moving on, I would also like to thank all the organizations and institutions that have kindly supported this conference in various ways. First and foremost, the Federation of Finnish Learned Societies, Tieteellisten seurain valtuuskunta, who also, by the way, are running this place where we are physically here, the Tieteiden Talo, the House of Letters. They have also provided funding for this conference, for which we are very grateful. The University of Helsinki have helped us in many ways, particularly the Faculty of Social Sciences. Thank you, Anja Nygren, Barry Gills, also for channeling that support for us. Thank you to UNIPID, to Arvid Nordqvist, who have provided the coffee, to the City of Helsinki, who will be hosting our reception this evening. For those who don't know, there is a reception this evening from 6 to 7 o'clock, very strictly. It starts at 6 and ends at 7. There's no before and after, unless you are elsewhere. For those who haven't registered for that, please see any of the helpers with a red tag, name tag, if you would still like to join. There are still some places left. But we need to put your name on the name list. But you are all more than welcome. There will be free food and wine and drinks and some talks and a toast to us all. So I will now close by just thanking you once again. On behalf of the Finnish Society for Development Research, I now declare this conference open, and I wish us all a very fruitful couple of days exploring this very intriguing theme on the politics of sustainability. We now have a few opening words. Firstly, I would like to invite up here Jari Niemelä, the director of the new Helsinki Institute on Sustainability Science. Welcome.
Thank you, Aili. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for this opportunity to say a few words about the new Institute of Sustainability Science that has been established at the University of Helsinki. And actually the theme of today's and tomorrow's conference here is very appropriate for the Institute because, as you will see soon, one of the themes that we are focusing on is Global South and development issues. And the theme of politics of sustainability fits very well into the sort of multidisciplinary approach of our Institute. So thank you very much. And I know that many of you here from the University of Helsinki have already joined the Institute. Oops. Okay, I have a few slides here about the Institute and what we do. But first, I think we all agree that research on sustainability, discussions on sustainability, the multidisciplinary aspects of sustainability are really important because of the challenges that we are facing in the society, complex social, ecological challenges that we are facing in the world of today. At the University of Helsinki, sustainability has been defined as one of the grand challenges that the university wants to tackle. That's written in our strategy, and because of that, sustainability science and education is one of the university's so-called profiling areas. The university wants to invest intelligence and also funding to this particular area. And because of this, a concrete action has been taken, which is to establish the Institute of Sustainability Science at the University of Helsinki, starting 1st of January this year. I'm happy to say that the chair of the university board, President Tarja Halonen, is very much in support of our activities. This is what she said in the Yliopisto-lehti in December when she was elected as the chair of the board. She said that she's very happy that the university has established the Sustainability Science Institute and wants to focus on this issue. So we have a very powerful lady behind us. So what we do, of course, as we are talking about the university, research and education are really the key issues. But then we also want to focus on making the university's own operations more sustainable. It's a big community of 40,000 people if you include the students and staff. So how do you make such an operation more sustainable? That's one of our big issues. But in the middle, what we really want to do is to provide research-based solutions for society to become or transform towards sustainability. So co-producing with academic partners and non-academic partners in the society solutions for sustainability transformation. That's of course a big and ambitious goal, but that's really what we want to do. We want to make what we can to achieve new ways of making our societies more sustainable. As I said, we have 4 themes. We don't exclude any fields or let's say researchers in the field of sustainability science, but we had to select a few areas where we really want to focus. And as you see, we have Arctic and Global South. And we would really like to build a bridge between these two, because as Aili said, some of the issues in the Arctic and in the South are same, indigenous people and so on. Urban is really something that's becoming more and more important even here in Finland. But on the other hand, we also focus on urbanization in the Global South. We have a professorship, new professorship starting soon, entitled Urbanization in the Global South. Then we have consumption production. In the University of Helsinki case, it's mainly forestry, agriculture, and the consumption side issues. And then the basement here really is theory and methodology of sustainability sciences. We are a university. We want to focus on research and advancing the science of sustainability as well. A little bit about the organization. This is a joint research center at this stage with between 6 faculties. 3 of them are sort of natural science faculties and 3 social science faculties. We have a director and a couple of coordinators, steering group, advisory board, both national and international group. We are going to get a physical location of our own in Portania, which is in the very city center. So you are welcome to visit us, and some of you may also want to stay there for a longer period. We have a space for about 30 people over there, and soon we will start allocating space to people who are interested. We have now a network of about 250 people at the University of Helsinki. We had a membership call a few months ago, where about 250 people said that they would be interested in becoming affiliated and form the network. So in addition to the existing people, we are going to employ 11 new professorships within this broad field of sustainability science. And as I said, one of them will be urbanization in the global south. There's another one in indigenous sustainabilities and so on. Partners in the research side, we have a couple of universities, Aalto and Lappeenranta University of Technology. They are both technological universities, and it's quite easy for us to collaborate with them because we don't compete, we don't overlap, so it's quite easy to collaborate. SYKE, which is the Environment Institute in Finland, and LUKE, the Natural Resources Institute, are very important collaborators as well, and we are going to have a joint professorship with both of them. On the society side, the cities are very important, Helsinki, Vantaa, Espoo here in the metropolitan region, and Lahti. And then on the industry side, we are going to create a network of a few forerunner companies who want to collaborate with us. We have already started a little bit on that road. Finally, a little bit about joint activities. In addition to research, we are going to have various kinds of events and seminars and things like that. Here's a few of them. The first one is in collaboration with Valtioneuvoston Kanslia, which is the Prime Minister's office, and UM is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We have started monthly policy dialogues about indicators of sustainable development goals in Finland, how to measure whether we are reaching the goals. We are going to have Sustainability Science Days in mid-May this year, together with Aalto University. In the future, we hope that this will be Sustainability Science Week. So an entire week in collaboration with the Aalto University. Brown bag lunch seminars will be starting in our new Portania premises this spring. So, thank you very much. That was briefly.
Thank you, Jari. And now I'd like to call up Professor Eeva Furman. She's the director of the Environment Policy Center at the Finnish Environment Institute. Welcome, Eeva.
Okay, good morning. Lovely to see so many people interested in the topic. So firstly, I would like to thank for the invitation to come here, but also that you have selected this topic of sustainability. And not only sustainability, but the politics of sustainability, because they are linked, but you can approach it from different angles, and there are different communities approaching various ways, and I think this is a very good choice that you have made. I come from the Finnish Environment Institute, SYKE, that Jari was also mentioning, and as you saw, we are also having a shared professorship with the university in HELSUS in this new arrangement. We are a multidisciplinary, very much solution-based government institute working on various topics, and I'm running the Center for Environmental Policy. Oh, lovely. I'm too excited. So there are two other reasons why I presume I'm here. I've been running the expert panel for sustainable development in Finland for a few years. Sitra, it is a organization for supporting various kind of societal processes, is hosting this panel, and I'm going to dwell a little bit on that, what we have been doing. And also I want to pass their greetings to you as well. And then secondly, I'm part of a group of 15 scientists who are writing a report on global sustainable development to the United Nations for 2019, and that's the first report of the kind. There will be every 4 years similar kind of reports, and I'll touch a little bit upon those. But now I'm going to just run through a couple of very humble, scattered thoughts that I would like to share with you before you go into your deeper scientific discussions. The first issue is the concept and the wording that we are using. You're using sustainability, and that's the reason, because that's the angle where science really approaches these issues. But sustainable development is the political term. And so you can really play with those. You can see a kind of causal relationship, or a different kind of relationship. But it's also a question of communities. So I'm coming soon about your responsibility as scientists, and one deals with this issue that depending with whom you discuss, you might want to use different kind of words. So what's the role of science? I mentioned it's sustainable development and the Agenda 2030 you are definitely very familiar with. It's a political term or political agreement, and that's what it looks like. But its implementation really needs science very much. And if the science is not there, the evidence is not there, there is something wrong. And the science community can see that there are certain reasons why it's not there, but there are many different ways you can analyze why this connection is not always there. And more is there a pull for evidence. And that's, for example, can be said by why Finland has this expert panel of sustainable development, which is supporting our Sustainable Development Commission that's led by the Prime Minister, and also the UN one. It was all countries who decided that they want this kind of support that looks at it from a critical point of view and in a more analytical way. So then the next issue is all science supporting sustainable development? Or do we really need this something that we call sustainability science, which is a little bit different? And our panel, what we have been talking very strongly emphasizes that the sustainability science that is now forming and taking its place is very important. Not everything is important in the sense that if we want to make a transformation, that I suppose that the reason of this conference also is. So like this HELSUS that Jari mentioned, it's really great that has been put into place. Similar ones are in Sweden, in Europe, everywhere in the world you can find these. Many of them have a long history already. Many are now being pulled together. And I think it's important that they build their coherent bulk. And especially in the developing countries, there is a great need to have research. The research, when you look at development studies on sustainability, it's mostly done in the Western world, in developed countries. That's a problem, especially taking into your working groups. It should be the people from the developing countries doing the really deep research. And this, when the research is strengthened, it should be done in the way that it's based on the sustainability science. And my final point actually in this, before I give a couple of examples from the panel and the group, is that there is a responsibility, and it's not enough to sit together as scientists and discuss, or researchers and discuss these issues. There is also the, I would claim, ethical and moral kind of obligation to contribute. It's too easy to not to work. I mean, someone can do something against it, but it's being passive is just as bad as being active in a different way, because we don't want the business as usual. So I think we need very much places where researchers can talk with themselves and talk about concept, go out and talk about concept. Oh, that's there, the researchers are coming again with their concept. They don't want any concept, but to be able to come with something that is useful, you need to discuss with the concepts and with the approaches and through the methodology and so forth. So here are the, I'm sure you all know these two well, much better than me. Only always to emphasize, I notice when I'm in these different groups, how people come from different angles, how difficult it is to accept that actually the other part is also important. So this is a amalgamation of the developing studies and the old sustainable development studies, which based on the link of economy, ecology and social studies in the kind of Western world. So just a few words. Firstly, this is the UN report that we are trying to write. We are working very hectically on this night and day, I can tell as well, last night as well. And but basically this is the form that we are coming. It very much builds what messages we need to give to the policymakers in the countries, maybe even beyond, to all stakes, how to do the transformation. So it will be based on the approaches and the concepts, how you can make the transformation, but it will be written in a form that it's for people who are not researchers. And then the second part is the pathways, which is actually good examples how changes have happened or might happen, and very much the flows and integration and interlinkages between the different SDGs, but also different parts of the world are raised here. We are going to touch upon the thinking out of the box, and that comes from the fact that it's a political document, this Agenda 2030. We are researchers. We are not going to show that you did wrong. There are reasons why in this political agenda there are certain issues that I'm sure you also would like to pinpoint are not there. But we want to bring the evidence and show how things are and leave it for the politicians to then make their own thoughts of that. And then finally, we have a space for role of science. We already talked about that, and maybe the big bulk is how science policy society interlinkages are built in different countries, in the West, in the South, in the East, in the West. So that's it, and we have had a call for interest. It has been open on the UN pages, and it closed now the 1st of February, and we got lots and lots of papers and reports and other kind of evidence from all over the world. Also very much emphasized the developing countries there and got lots of contributions. So to all of you and to us, it's very complicated when we look at the evidence needs. There are different situations, from very simple ones to complex to complicated to wicked and even to chaos. And we all need to juggle between all these. And now I will finalize with two different kind of policy briefs or proposals that we have made in the Finnish panel. This one very much tackles and gives signals to the Finnish society that we shouldn't look at the SDGs one by one. But the interesting stuff and the most difficult ones are those where the different SDGs are interlinked and they should be integrated. So, for example, we need environment as a basis of health and well-being. And we need rethinking of the approaches to work and economy, how they are connected. equality and inclusion as a building block for sustainable society, and energy and natural resource reform that is socially fair, or that we need to take the responsibility from human, local level all the way to the global level, and remember that actually these things are so interlinked. So I have these here. They are, of course, also in the web. The other one is a suggestion to the government who are going to start next year an evaluation of the Finnish policy model for sustainable development. We have a very sophisticated model that has been preached all over the world, but how good it actually is, and how could it be changed, and what could it offer, and especially we are focusing how, not so much looking backwards for the indicators. It's good for the legitimization to know if agreed things are done, but very much look into the future, pathways, how do you build the effective pathways, and also make it as a learning process, inclusive one where the whole society from all levels is taking part of that. So I will close my words here and wish everyone excellent and very fruitful discussions the next days. And I'm very much looking forward to hearing what comes out from here. Okay, thank you.